So I'm Catherine Bergman, and I'm an artist and an author. Try what I like and make it set, and then I can go and continue on and put another layer on.
Yeah.
So, and I was a little bit more expressive when I was in college. But I said I did abstract expressionism, and then from there I went on and I was very interested in color and also in like form, geometric form. So this is what I transitioned to out of college. And I did artwork like this, just purely abstract for quite a while. From there, I did photography and I did black and white. I had my own darkroom in my house. So I went from doing abstract paintings to strictly doing photography, and that was because of ease of use and because of having kids. It was easier to pick up your camera and to go do that, and during nap time you could do darkroom stuff. That's what I would do. And then as the kids got older, I got to go back into painting again. And the next kind of painting I did was more back to that expressive abstract expressionism. And this is before I started doing my markings. And that expressive abstract kind of emotions, because, you know, I grew. I got out of my more depressive kind of state of mind, you know, through the growth of self-awareness. And I started painting stuff that was more vibrant and not so dark. Red used to be my favorite go-to color for painting, and but then I kind of changed to more lighter tones, and that would be the lighter purples and blues again. I've always liked blues, but not like what I'm using now. It's crazy. So, but anyway, blues and purples, and then I would do pops of yellow or something like that. But nothing, no kind of tangible, concrete kind of forms. I went to the University of South Florida in Tampa. And I was going to get a psychology degree, right? Because I was interested in human behavior, and also I wanted to help young kids, because I felt like I struggled so much, you know, growing up, you know, and not in a bad way. Great home life. It's just the inner struggle. I had such an inner struggle, you know, coming to terms with, you know, who I am. So I was going to do that, and I remember sitting there in orientation, and all the different schools are giving their presentations, and the fine arts department was up there, and I was like fascinated, and I was so drawn to that. And after everything was said and done, they're like, go to your school of choice. And I'm like, school of choice? Like I have a choice? Because I had already changed my mind while sitting there that I wanted to do fine arts. And I walked right over to the fine arts department, sat in line with all these other kids, and I went in to talk to the department head. And they're like, did you bring your portfolio? And I'm like, no, I was going to be a psychology major, but I want to change to fine arts. You know, I love to paint. He's like, well, normally we have a process. We look at your portfolio and make sure that you're a good fit. And I said, I don't know what to tell you. I'm passionate about it. I really want to be here. And he said, well, I guess then let's do that. I'll put my faith in you. If you have any problems, just let me know. But if that's really what you want to do, I'll go ahead and do that. So, and that's what I did. I changed my majors that day. He was really nice about it, and I got along fine with everybody, and everything worked out. So I got my degree in fine arts with a specialty in painting. That's how that happened.
Do you know any type of famous artists or people that influence you in your artwork and stuff?
Oh my gosh. So glad you brought that up. So I have this one book. I love this book. It's called the Spiritual and Art Abstract Painting. It's awesome. So a teacher of mine, a professor of mine, had lent it to me in college. And after college, several years after college, I ended up buying myself a copy. This is when you can afford to go buy things for yourselves, right? So, and there's, Wassily Kandinsky is one of my favorites. And he wrote a book, Spirituality and Art. And I guess I kind of identify with him. He also did, he was very interested in how color affects you, but there's, yeah, there's a lot of artists. I mean, I think probably the majority of the artists that are in this book are people that I can identify with. And then, but he's my absolute favorite. Kandinsky is by far my favorite. And then, of course, my collaboration with Murph. He is an influencer for me. He has such a strong connection with the town that he lives in, and his network is really good and it's very strong. And it reminds me, you know, that we can't just always be sitting back in here in our studios and doing art. You know, it really is important to go out and connect with people, and that helps to grow our business, because it's what I love to do. It's creative. It's a part of me to want to create and to produce, but it's also, it's a business as well, you know, and to not talk about that part of, you know, artwork, I think is a disservice, you know, to artists and to others that, I mean, you never want to take anything for granted, but you want to help support other businesses aside from, you know, when you go and eat at a restaurant, you go grocery shopping, you go shopping for your school stuff, supplies and things like that. I mean, you also want to be able to, I think, buy from local artists rather than mass-produced art. I think that there's a place for it for sure. There's a place for everything without doubt, right? There's no one way to do things. So, I know. Okay, so is college worth it? In pertaining to my art in particular, I can tell you this. There were no other painters like myself in that genre of abstract expressionism. Everybody was doing realism, and then there was this other way cool kid who was, he was a punk rocker. He had this much money, so he would take cardboard boxes. That's what he did his painting on and stuff like that, and he'd borrow paint from people. But it was hard because they want you to fit into this kind of mold, because you have to learn this and this and this and this and this. This is what makes up a painter. And there was no kind of creative expression, I felt. Like it, and maybe this is just my perception. I'm sure it is, because this is my story. So I just want to throw that out there, because otherwise, USF was awesome. But it was really hard to relate my work and go through that kind of a critical, the dissertations that they would give about your work were just like really biting, which it was hard to take because I was painting my emotions. So, but I think all in all though, it was good to be with all the other kids or people like me that were just so interested in, you know, their form of expression, getting it out there, showing it to people, you know, wanting to improve, at least in the fact of, you know, what could I do better in regards to the types of paint mixing, the colors, you know, tools, stuff like that. So that was kind of cool, because before that, you're limited to what it is you knew either from high school, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, because then it's not like we had YouTube to go watch, right? It's so different now.